Newsflash, Democrats have finally grown a backbone, and they're starting to show it. Today in Congress, they announced that if they take back Congress in the next election, they're going to pass a bill to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour in the first 4 legislative days. You heard that correctly. Americans can vote themselves a raise at the ballot box in the next election. And here's what they had to say about the decision to unite behind a $15 minimum wage.
Join the fight for 15, and I'll tell you one thing for sure. We win the election, in the first 100 hours, we will pass a $15 minimum wage.
Now, Republicans always respond that paying people what they're worth will harm the economy, but they got it all wrong, y'all. We are the economy. Americans need jobs, and businesses need Americans with money in their pockets ready to spend it. That's the only way we're going to kickstart our economy and create an economy that works for everyone in our country. Reverend Dr. William Barber explains how that works here in this Fight for 15 convention video here.
Because if you make a living wage, guess what? You're going to spend the money. And if you spend the money, it goes into the economy. And if it goes into the economy, then the economy goes up. And if the economy goes up, everybody goes up.
You see, for the economy to work, work has to create more purchasing power in the economy. Americans need enough money to put food on the table, provide for their families, and have a little left over to enjoy life too. Our economy, it's based on a balance of supply and demand. But right now, there's just simply no demand in the economy. That's why raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour is a good idea. But don't take my word for it. The Department of Labor recently released a study that shows states that increase their minimum wage increase job growth at a faster rate than those that keep workers' wages down. And a study by the National Employment Law Project also studied nearly a century of data and came to this conclusion. Quote, the results were clear. Of the nearly 24 federal minimum wage hikes since 1938, total year-over-year employment actually increased 68% of the time. In those industries most affected by the minimum wage, employment increases were even more common. 73% of the time in the retail sector, 82% of the time in low-wage leisure and hospitality. In fact, if anything, the data suggests that increases in the federal minimum wage appear to encourage job growth and hiring. That means raising workers' wages is what creates growth in the economy. And also has the added value of paying people proportionally to the value that they contribute to our economy. So Republicans who are always arguing that cutting public services and ditching regulations is what drives the economy, they're simply wrong. Yep, it's the workers, stupid, and you got to pay them. And when you do, your economy grows. The American people get it. It just took the politicians in D.C. a while to catch up. But that's how change in America has always worked. Movements by people like Fight for 15 demand that things change, and politicians respond to them, not the other way around. So keep up the fight, y'all, and keep putting pressure on those pesky politicians in Washington. They're starting to listen. Well, at least the Democrats in D.C. are starting to listen. I'm Ryan Clayton. This is Content News. Come back daily for the news where we're free to share the truth.